Barefoot Bruisers. I'm Sawtooth Dave. Hope y'all had a good week. Thanks for checking in on a Sunday again. It's actually Sunday morning. It's super early. I've got to go to work here in a few minutes, so I figured I'd just drop this video here. Or record this video now, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, so the Sawtooth 6 in, true fashion to fall on the Faulkner 5. Carried this one all week. What am I trying to say? Sergey Rogovitz. So I'm already tongue twisted. It's too early, man. I barely got the coffee in me already. But anyhow, carried this week. Did I learn anything new from it? Not really. I mean, pretty much same as I always say with it. It's a sick knife, man. The fact that it's handmade is even credible to me. I'm nowhere near this talent. Hopefully one day, maybe. Two things I don't like about it. Maybe a few more, but the main two that, like, when I carry it, I always remember, I don't like the pokey on the clip, and I hate the hardware, which is a safety Torx. So I probably should just go in there and mill that little peg out and make it just regular Torx. This screw does back out. Yes, you can Loctite it, but me being me, I always take everything apart and modify it. I.e., you see the blasted scales where it came Cerakoted. So, I'm always messing with stuff. Some stuff hit me, like, I put the thumb studs on it myself. That was just a little piece of brass that was in there, or maybe it was copper, I can't remember, something that was just pressed in there. So I figured, yeah, put some studs on it. The studs are all right. How I modified it's all right. It's not bad, but like, you can't really flick it off them studs, not easily anyhow, because you're so high up on the knife. You see how it kind of chokes up. So I'll flick off the blade. And for those of you who don't know how to flick off a blade, like, it's just a matter of getting under the grind and getting enough traction to flick it out. And me and Paul were talking about it earlier, like, some of the knives that I can flick out easy, he struggles with. I think it's hand size, hand strength. Like, the smaller knives I have a hard time with. Most of you guys can do that stuff. So the common theme I'm finding with the flicking off the blade thing. So next week, what I'm thinking about carrying is the T1 again. Seeing how I got it last year at Blade Show, seems only fitting. I was going to end it with the T1, but I was like, you know what? I've been working on that Inkosi all week. Before this week, last week, I was working on Billy's Inkosi. So it's been phosphor bronze, me mentally working on that. And all the other knives, actually most of the knives in my collection are bearing knives now. So once you kind of get in that, feel for phosphor bronze, it's kind of, you want more of that feel. I don't know. For me, I go through phases back and forth. And there's not a ton of customs on phosphor bronze. I'm lucky enough right now, I haven't mailed it back yet, to still have the Denise's knives, but Donnie's work on this is phosphor bronze as well. So like, I got another one to kind of play with as well. And it's one of those things where it seems like the phosphor bronze for me, at least, you can tune it to that stiffer action if you like the stiffer action, and you can you have more control about how the action feels versus bearings. At least that's my opinion right now, I guess. Like, we all go through phases and stuff, but huge shout out, switching gears here, huge shout out to Knight's Edge, which is Neil. Admittedly, he said he's bored at work and he wanted to play with some AI tech, but I've been looking for a logo for a long time, and I don't have the talent. I don't even know how to start accumulating the talent. I guess I could ask people, but like, I never really like formally asked anybody, but a couple of people had volunteered to try to help. But I was kind of particular about what I wanted, and we got like 90% of the way there, and then I think we both were like, yeah, that's good, I like that. And he did it all with some kind of AI tech. You can ask him about it. I don't know anything about it, but once he got it there, I was like, man, it's time. I've had stickers in the past. Actually, Denise got stickers made for me in the past, but we finally got some stickers, and I'm gonna have some t-shirts made too, even though they're pretty dang expensive. And then certain sizes weren't able to be ordered because, like, a 3X and above is like, they have to have a minimum quantity, and it was like hundreds of dollars. It wasn't like a couple bucks. So like, if enough of y'all want big shirts, want me to order big shirts, like, that's fine. But I think I got like 2Xs, XLs, maybe a handful of mediums, and a couple mediums and a couple largest maybe. So I figured most people are probably on the bigger size. Like, just speculating, I don't know, maybe not. But if you're interested in the t-shirt, let me know. I know I can order more. It's just like, what's the demand? So I didn't know. So I just ordered some to have some. Hopefully I'll get them before Blade Show. That's kind of sort of the the thinking on it is if I get them before blade show, I might carry them with me. But then again, it's more stuff to tall, so I don't know. Let me show you the logo. Thanks again, Neil. Appreciate you, bro. So there's the logo, Barefoot Bruisers. And you can see I was kind of hoping for more of the knife falling, where you can see the lines like cartoon style, like bouncing off, that sort of thing. And they kind of got lost in some of the AI stuff, but you can still see basically the whole, bouncing off a foot, big, huge knife. So Barefoot Bruisers, that's the logo. We're going to get that on the t-shirt as well. So it'll be black t-shirts. It remains to be seen. I want to, like, the people who've been supporting me, the most through the whole building process, I like to get them a t-shirt. Like, but I don't know if I can't really afford to give everybody a t-shirt, because I'm already in. I think it's going to be over $400 for, I think, 20 t-shirts already, which is pretty ridiculous. But nothing's cheap these days. I can't remember what I paid for these, but I want to say these are like a couple $100 or something for the amount that I got, which I don't even know how many I got, but a good stack of them anyhow. It's going to be hard for me to say, hey, give me your address, I'll mail you a sticker. But if I'm mailing you something, I'm going to put a sticker in it. Other than that, like blade show, I'll be handing them out and that sort of thing. So I'll definitely have the stickers with me unless I forget them, because I got to mentally put that in the checklist there. But I'm super excited. I finally got some kind of logo to kick me off. Is that going to be a forever logo? Nah, it's probably going to be like this run, like those stickers, those t-shirts, and then probably progress from there. Maybe get some more help, like refining that design as I go. But like to kick it off, man, I needed something to like, let's go, let's get it going. Cause like everybody's got stickers, everybody's got logos. So like I needed to get something going on. So super happy to get that. All right. So through the Inkosi build this week, I basically took you guys through the process. I kind of recorded as I went, and it got to a certain point when I was like, I could either get work done or record, and I was on a getting work done phase. So I'm gonna, it's all edited stuff, so I have to combine everything. So I'm gonna throw everything in there on an edit, and then hopefully it'll all make sense at the end. I'll come back and kind of recap it and show you where we're at. It's not, the process isn't done yet. I'll just go ahead and say right now, I was like, I've had time, but like Todd sent me a replacement clip for the MOW, and here it sits. Here's the original one. Here's this one. Here it sits, and I was gonna put it on there, but I just haven't had time. I'm messing with it, and honestly, like there's nothing really wrong with the original clip, so I might just keep it this way until I have an issue with the clip, and then put it on there. But I just honestly, I can see either coming in here and doing work, or as soon as my mind leaves work and I go to something else, I'm off in tangents. I can't get back on track for work. So as I'm thinking about it on the drive home or something like that, like I got it in my mind what I want to do and my mission, and I get here and I accomplish that mission. If I think about something else or get sidetracked, then it doesn't happen. It doesn't work. So I didn't get all the way through the Encosi. I did get enough to actually show you at the end kind of sort of what I'm going to go for. I have had issues. I don't know how I'm going to fix those issues as of right now, but I'll take it through the process, through the editing, and then I'll kind of recap it at the end of it. If you don't want to see it, you can go fast forward to the end. Probably the last couple of minutes will be me rambling again. If you want to see more of this, do that. All right, I figured I'd take you along this. This is that fancy Encosi. You can see the inserts popped out. So what we're going to do is, you see the documents in there. This stock ceramic detent ball, which is also the lock face. You can see how it operates now, or maybe you can, maybe you can't. But it's pressed in this direction, like this direction, and this direction, so it's kind of an angle. So from where you're seeing it, it's kind of machined something like this, right? But it was done with a ball, so I hope you can see the ball where it was sitting in there. Nice groove. You can also see the witness marks of where it was. This is a pain in the ass to remove too, but you can see where it was there, and there, where it was staked in around the detent ball. Hope you can see that. So anyway, that was the lock interface for this to start with, right? So if you're not familiar with the Inkosis, the 31s, or Unazons, they all lock up with the detent ball. They're not locked up in this face like a normal knife is. From what I know, that's about the only knife that I know of that does that. So we're making a lock bar insert because I ground too much off the blade so that when this insert came through, it wasn't actually hitting anything. This is what I got going on so far. So this is just a piece of 154 CPM 154, whatever you want to call it. So it's ground flat, so I just decked it. So it's the thickness that I want here and the thickness I want here. So this thickness will match that thickness. I just got it a little proud right now because I always like to grind to fit type thing. Well, basically I want to put it, it's going to be upside down, but it's going to be sitting like this in that little blue spot that I got. I got to mill this down to that thickness that I showed you a minute ago. This thickness to make it fit in there. And then re-drill a detent hole so it'll match the one that's in the blade, because I already drilled the one in the blade. A bunch of these are what if happens, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know how I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm just kind of sounding it out and working it out on camera with you guys. But basically, you can see this is how it's going to look when it's done. And hopefully, I'll probably have to mill the face of this to accommodate that thickness, because obviously you can see there's not enough room right there as it is. It's probably only 60 thou there. This is around an 1/8 inch, so I'll probably have to mill 60 or so thou off of this. Obviously, I got to fit it to the blade as well, so it'll be a little trial and error here. So I may have to end up milling it off this side on this face. We'll have to see, right? That's just a trial and error kind of thing, but that's where we're at for right now. So I'll check back in when I got more shit figured out. All right, it's about as far as we're gonna get to go tonight. So if you can see now, I've got the titanium milled down for the insert, so I'm just going to stick the insert in so you basically can see what I'm doing. None of this is fitted yet. Obviously this is just a work in progress still, but you see basically I can't do everything at once here, but if I hold it in place, you can kind of sort of see what I'm going for there. You can see it just barely clears that part of the titanium there, which is good. It's what we wanted. The marks into the crosshairs up in there are where I plan on putting hardware. So because I don't have a whole lot of thickness right here, this thickness right here, you know, if I had flat heads or something that, you know, I could countersink, I might be able to use them, but I'm going to use pan head screws. So little pan head screw. So it's going to stick up that much on the outside. So it's going to be, you know, like this on the outside of that. Not a whole lot I can do unless I get some new hardware. At this point, everything else is pan head. This is the insert right here. It's going to be poofed up a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit sticking up, but you know, I'm gonna go with the flow and see if I can make it work. So that's what those marks there are to do. Obviously haven't drilled either one, but I gotta drill first the titanium, and then I'm gonna clamp this to it and drill that in it too. So it's a process. I hadn't got there yet. Obviously I'm not gonna do that tonight. Kind of already tired and don't want to mess it up, because when I get tired I mess up stuff. I'm sure we all get that way, but I just want to basically show you with everything in there. I'm just going to place the blade on the stop pin right here. So you can see that not a ton of room there left. Hopefully you can see how close it is, but we're getting close to where, you know, once this gets fitted in here, and it's not obviously fitted right now, but once it gets fitted in there, I'll have a little bit of room to grind off the lock face and hopefully be able to fit this and make it work. So lock bar insert on the Inkosi, and we'll stop it there for tonight. All right, a little progress shot. You can kind of see we got it all together now. So what's the overall knife's kind of started looking like. It's the first time I've had it together, so kind of digging the appearance of it. All right, so looking at the lock bar insert here, you see that we got it decked to the right height, installed. We got it drilled and tapped. So this is the titanium's drilled through, and the insert's drilled and the steel insert's drilled and tapped. It's obviously not heat treated yet. I gotta still whack the screws down the right length, which, you know, that's no big deal. We'll do here in a minute, but it's not locking up yet, so you can kind of see, hopefully you can kind of see how it's there. So you see it's dichromed. So what I did is build it all, and then right behind that where the lock face is right here, I scribed it so that I'll know I have a line to grind to hopefully get that lock bar to start fitting up here in a second. But it's not far off, but that's where we're at right now tonight. I think it's about as far as I'm gonna get it right now. All right, another new day. So as you can see now, I think I left with this drilled and tapped, but not fitted. So it's not 100% fitted yet, but you can see in here where I got this sanded. Nice to make smooth. It's a little bit, this lock bar insert's a little bit proud, but it's like 8 thou if I measure correctly. I gotta go back and measure it again. And my screws on the inside are just a little bit proud too. But now you can see, even with that little bit, the lock's fitted up. I'm trying to pull it back close. You see it's nice and tight. That was a low, you know, same amount of lockup, whether it's hard or not. So we're good. The lockup's good as far as that goes. You kind of see the fitting up that everything's looking right now. I got to do a little more work on the face of this and a little more stone work to make it good. And I think other than that, we got to do the detent. And I was thinking I was going to use that original detent hole, but now looking at it, I think I'm just going to drill a new detent hole up on this upper side of that lock bar insert and put the lock bar, or put the ball on that and make it work that way, so I don't have to worry about what was already there. So hopefully you see this process, get an idea what all is involved in it. A lot of hand work at this point, but let's get the detent drilled in it, and then I'll come back and show you that, and then be time to heat treat, finish a little grinding on that insert and heat treat the insert. And then while I'm doing that, I'll probably work on grinding the blade. All right, so here's the knife all back together, just to show you the whole thing. So thumb stud on that side, obviously, and the groove on this side. So I'm just gonna take it apart real slow so you can see, or open it real slow. I'm behind the camera, can't really do a whole lot with it. So you see the whole thing, kind of sort of what I was going for. Hopefully it makes it all, hopefully you can see it all. Hopefully this line right here is very, very faint. Hopefully you can see it. I'm not really sure what had happened there, but I can tell you that, not grinding like I used to do when I did the regrinds, especially. I'd do like 2 or 3 a week. My grinding skills are way better. So like now I got to go slow and really take my time. But still looks cool, I think. I'm definitely happy with the overall grinds and how it came out. Like symmetry wise, it's not perfect, but it's close. It's very close. Happy with how that all turned out. You can obviously see the screw here and the screws here match. They're proud, but they kind of all go together, so it all kind of flows and has the same theme. Let me zoom out just a hair here. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is, I'm not 100% satisfied with the action and the detent on this, so I think I'm going to lap it and then see if I can, after it lapped, if it improves it at all. So you can see the detent, it does suck in a little bit. Like it still feels mushy to me. Like I'm not happy with how that detent feel came out. So I may play with that more. I may even re-drill it. I may slug the blade and re-drill it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I don't know. For whatever reason, the detents just don't feel warm and fuzzy to me. So I don't know, man. Like until that feels good to me, like as of right now, I don't think I'd let this go into the world without me being 100% satisfied with it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm right now, I'm kind of like, I don't know. If you work on something so often, you're very critical on it. So I may have to let it sit for a day or two and then come back, or may even send it to JD, let him do the inlays, and then when it comes back, make a decision if I'm keeping it or not. But a couple things that could be going on here. One is the way the stop pin hits the blade there. It's not as solid as what I'd want it to be. Like as a little bit on the side of the stop pin instead of the end of the stop pin, if that makes sense, where it cycles in. And if you watch the lock bar right here, you see the lock bar move? You see that lock bar moving? So there's no lock bar stabilizer in this. Where the stock ceramic ball interface is, it works very well because there's not a whole lot of places for it to go, and it's all the way down and in. And how they get it precision machine, they can locate stuff really, really precision. I'm trying to basically fudge it. I'm doing the best I can with the equipment I have, but it's not going to be nearly as accurate as what they're doing with the CNCs. Like they can probably hold position of like tenths, if not at least a thou or two, and I'm trying to, basically just make it work, which is probably 10, 15 thou, of what I'm doing compared to what they're doing. I hope that makes sense. If you use it, guys, that machine, I'm sure it does. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how all that lock bar looked. I did come back in here, and you can see from like this point to this point, I had to clean that titanium up so that doesn't match the rest of the vapor hone. And then there's a little scuffs right up in here that doesn't match. So I don't know that I'm gonna refinish it or if I'm gonna leave it as is. As of right now, I'm not sure. Blade is just blasted in tumbled like I did Billy's. I think I'm probably gonna acid etch this one. But I'm not 100% sure yet. I just haven't seen anything, and maybe I'll make the decision when it comes back after inlays, because as it is right now, a darker blade with this darker back here would be good, but if I aluminum oxide this, it'll match that better. So I'm torn. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I guess we'll wait and see, but it's the progress on it. Like I said, I'm not 100% happy with the detent and the action feel. But other than that, I need to back the camera back out, or back this stand back out so I can actually show you the action on it. But you can tighten the action, loosen the action, get the action you want out of it. As of right now, like with the tight action, it's not bad, man. Like I haven't just come back and haven't messed with it for a day or so and coming back, it actually feels pretty good. I'm not dissatisfied with it. So, like I said, the mushy detent's more what I'm thinking on this one. So, all right. So just to close this one down, went through what's going on with um, the Inkosi. Hopefully we'll get it dialed in and have everything better for like maybe next week I'll have it done or I'll be more satisfied with it. What that entails, I don't know, but overall, these thinner blades, more normally kind of knives, ain't really my thing anyhow. So I'm not too worried about like trying to pick up a lot of the nuances of what guys that have knives like this want out of the knives. I'm still more into bruisers. The bruisers, I'm gonna tune differently. So what I've noticed on this one is I want more lock bar pressure. Like on my bruisers, I'm not used to a lot more pressure, but I can't really. It's the very tip of my fingers getting in here to undo the knife. So I mean, I probably will put more lock bar pressure, especially if I end up keeping it myself, which I'm kind of debating on doing that right now. I'm gonna do the Unizon too and see which one comes out. Like one of the two will get sold. The Unizon was a gift to start with, so that I probably will stay. But I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'll just sell the Zon and keep the Encosi. I want to keep one CRK and be cool to have one. If you watched Billy's video, the heat treat on his measured lower than what I was attempting to get. It ended up coming at 63, which is fine. There's nothing horrible about 63. I was just shooting for 66. So what happened? What went wrong? The only thing I can think is temper on that one. The Magna Cut I did came out at 63, which is almost exactly the same formula. Like almost to the T, the same time in the oven, same temperature, the quench, the cryo. So it came out at 63. So there's a possibility on that first one. I showed you pictures last week of how that foil stuck on the blade. There's a possibility with that. Maybe it changed something. I don't know. Because that was the worst one. That particular blade was. So I want to get this one tested. It's whether I get it tested or I send it to Billy to test it. I don't know. But that's the update for this week, I guess. Tune in next week to see if I get this thing dialed in and move on to the Zon. I don't know. I probably will either way because like, for me, when I get to a point where I'm frustrated with it, I need to put it down and walk away. So that's probably what I'm gonna do with this one. I might even put it down this week and just work on the Zon and see if I can come up with something with that. But gotta go to work. So hopefully y'all enjoyed me taking you through somewhat of the process. I didn't mention it, but obviously I heat treated that lock bar insert, and this is just blasted afterwards, but blasted and tumbled, trying to match the blade. Hopefully you can see that. Let me find the camera there. Hopefully you can see that finish pretty much matches all the way there. But that's it. Hope y'all had a good week. Less than 3 weeks to blade. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm ready to go. All right. Y'all be cool. See you next week. Later.